Yes.
That's how I always start, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Good practice. They were focused. No, it was a good practice. So, you know, I think this is, it's good that it's a short week. I think if we were playing the same team on a long week, it would be a little bit more difficult to just stay locked in and focused because they're anxious to play again. And I'm sure Stanford probably feels the same way. But had a good day today. So get another one tomorrow and then walk through on Thursday, go up there and let her roll.
Can you go into detail a little bit more, Coach, about the advantages and the disadvantages of playing a team so soon?
You know, I don't know. Any advantage that we have, they have. Any disadvantage that we have, they have as well. So, you know, I think what it comes down to is tweaking your plan a little bit, you know, to try to get your players in the best position possible off of what you learned in the previous week, anticipating that they're going to tweak some things as well. Calling a good game, and then going out and executing. You know, executing as coaches, making the right calls in the right situations, and then counting on our players to go out and play hard and execute what we ask them to do.
Have you noticed a certain anxiety among your players? But they've always kept a very even keel, but this is really even more excitement now and more on the line.
Well, they're excited, but you know what I respect about these kids is we've asked them to come out here and be the same guy every day. And that's a hard thing to do, and it's never going to be exactly how you want it. But they really attempt to do that. You know, they attempt to come out here every day with the same type of focus, with the same type of energy, the same type of intensity, and I think they do a pretty darn good job of it.
What are some of the changes looking from week to week that you've had to make this week in the second time? What are some of the changes you've had to make looking from week to week? Well,
we had to adjust our practice schedule up because it's one shorter day. So we didn't, you know, we weren't able to take an entire day off and evaluate that last game. We just had to move. You know, today is a Tuesday, it's like a Wednesday for us, and tomorrow will be like a Thursday for us.
I mean, I'm talking more or less in your game plan against
Well,
Stanford.
I'm not going to talk specifically about our game plan. Come on, man. You're trying to get me, aren't you?
Jim, what about psychologically? I mean, you guys took some lumps. I mean, how hard is it to get them confident knowing that they can be on the same field?
Well, you know what? I think one of the things about being a young man like these guys are is you get over things quick. And I haven't seen confidence be a problem with us just because we've had some success this year. And the two games that we've lost previously, we've been able to come back and get a good win. You know, not necessarily an easy win, but a good win. And so I think that's given them confidence going forward. So I don't think it'll be an issue. I think they're, you know, amped up and ready to go.
Coach, how surprised, or are you surprised at this amount of success you've had in just your first year here?
Well, no, I'm not surprised. I haven't really sat down and thought of it in those terms. You know, our goal really, and my goal specifically, is to every day just try to be a little bit better than the previous day. You know, whether it's on the practice field, in the meeting room, or as a team. And so I think we're doing a pretty good job of that. I don't think we're perfect, but you know, at the end of this whole thing, you know, after the bowl game, whatever bowl game it is, then I'll sit down and think about, you know, the big picture.
What about the maturity level of these young men? Has that surprised you?
Yes, that has surprised me, yes. But I didn't know what to expect, you know. But I've seen them become a more and more mature football team as we've gone through this thing, and that's been impressive, and that's just a real credit to them.
Can I ask you if some of the changes you have made, are you confident that will translate to a better result come Friday?
I'm hopeful that they will, that the changes that we've made will translate into a better result, yeah. Very hopeful of that. I'd like to win this game. That would be a real good thing for us.
Which changes do you think will have the best chance to...
We just have to play better. We have to coach better. We have to put our players in a better position to make plays, and then they got to go out and make plays. And, you know, that's what we're trying to do.
Would it be sweet to play for a Rose Bowl?
Well, we are playing for a Rose Bowl, so it is sweet, yeah. But our focus is on Stanford. You know, we talked about that as a team yesterday. I'm not, you know, I'll tell you this, is that I had the chance as a player to play in 2 Rose Bowls. And the Rose Bowl experience is a wonderful experience, but the more memorable experience for me was the game that got us to the Rose Bowl, the emotion in the locker room after the win. Those were the special times. So that's what we're hoping to experience.
Coach, the type of teams UCLA is, Stanford is, you know them pretty well, obviously you haven't seen Stanford. How does rain affect this matchup between the two teams?
That's a great question, and I don't necessarily know the answer. I think you could look at it 2 ways. You know, they're kind of a pound-it, physical, grind-it-out team, and I think that, you know, on one hand you could say that that might be an advantage, but I've also been in games where a team that spreads it out a little bit more like we do and gets playmakers in the open field and creates those one-on-one matchups sometimes has an advantage. If you make a guy miss on a slippery field, then you've got some ground that you can gain. So I don't know. You know, I guess we'll see when it plays out on Friday night.
Throughout your coaching career, have you ever played the same team twice?
Every year, yeah. Every year, because in the NFL you play in a division, so
I mean,
there's
consecutive weeks.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't know. I haven't had the time to go back and look at that.
I did. You haven't.
I haven't. Yeah, because you know you're a heck of a journalist and you do your homework before you come out here. And I thank you for that.
You
and
know,
I haven't.
That's actually on my business cards.
That you're a heck of a journalist.
I'm a journalist and I do my homework before coming out here.
I appreciate you doing your homework like that. No, I haven't.
Did you get the opportunity to see the Pac-12 awards yesterday, and what did you think of them?
Oh yeah, I saw the list.
Yeah,
I was excited for our guys that were recognized by the conference. I think it's great for them to get that recognition. I think they deserve it.
Any snubs you thought on your team?
I don't like to talk about snubs. You know, I think that you know, the guys that made it, I'm happy for. The guys on the other teams that made it, I'm happy for them as well.
Coach, with Owa playing a little bit more last week as a fourth defensive lineman, how have you seen that transition for him? Because he's played a couple different positions, just left end, right end this year.
I've been impressed. I've been impressed with Owa's ability to adapt week in and week out to the things that we've asked him to do. And you're right, you know, going from the right side to the left side, not always easy, you know, but he's kind of our swing guy and he's done a good job of that. And then last week asking him to play that, you know, pseudo outside linebacker position, he did a good job, you know. He's a guy that studies really hard. I mean, we'll walk out of meetings, you know, in the late afternoon, and he'll be sitting there waiting for Coach Olbrich, you know, to spend another half hour with him, trying to figure out, you know, ways to be better at that position. So he's an impressive kid.
Do you think he's gained a noticeable amount of confidence throughout this season?
Owa?
Yeah.
I think he has, and I think he should. You know, he's played well for us. He's done some really good things. He's a good player. I like the way that he's becoming. He's always been very physical, but he's become much more aware and a much better technician. And I'm just excited to see where he takes it. All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.